The crew from the Mark Twain Boyhood Home and Museum are in studio this morning. Henry Sweets, Melissa Cummins are here. Guys, good morning.
Good
Good morning,
morning to
Harold.
you.
And we were saying it's too bad there's nothing going on these days.
Oh, it's just so slow.
Heaven's sake. But of course, the first thing at the top of the list, this is Melissa, this is your time of year. It's Tom and Becky time.
It is Tom and Becky time. This is, since 1956, we have had a Tom and Becky here in Hannibal, Missouri, and we start the process at the end of February with the sign-ups. So I've been at the middle school every day so far this week, and we'll be there the rest of the week during their PPT time. There are also sign-up sheets at Holy Family, St. John's Lutheran, and we have sign-up sheets at the offices at 120 North Main as well.
Now, but it's hard to imagine, but there may be folks who don't know how the Tom and Becky program works, about the process. Talk about the process of what happens from now until National Tom Sawyer Day.
Well, we keep the kids very involved as they go through the process with Tom and Becky. We start out with the sign-ups. Then next Tuesday at 3:30, we'll have an orientational meeting at the middle school. We invite parents to come as well as students. Anyone who's interested, wants to know more about the program and the process that they go through. And we'll go through it step by step. They will get to meet our current Tom and Becky and talk to some parents about the program as well. Then the next step that they do is they give a 2 to 3 minute speech on why they think they would make a good Tom or Becky, what interested them in the program, whatever they would like to speak about, and we'll narrow the candidates down to 12 boys and 12 girls from that point. And the speeches are held in March. Then after the speeches, they get a month where we give them a ton of material. We give them a study guide. We give them information on Hannibal, its history. And they are encouraged to go out, go downtown, go through businesses in town, go through the tourist sites, get really familiar with Hannibal and everything there is for a tourist to see here in town. And they take a test they get a month to study for that. Then they take that test, and then right after the test, they are interviewed individually for 10 to 15 minutes, and we narrow between the scores of the test and the interview. It's narrowed to the 5 boys and 5 girls. And those 5 girls and 5 boys will create costumes representing what they think a Tom or a Becky will look like. They'll gather items for their bags, which is always the fun part, coming up with little things to put in your bags and the stories to create with them. We've had some funny ones through the years. I remember one, I believe it was Tanner Sublet, had a coon skin, and he had the funniest story about this coon that got smashed or something. I don't know, but it was hilarious. They come up with the funniest stories. And then after that, they go through a 2-day orientation judging process that is held in June, where they get to pair up. They get to walk around town, meet tourists, do the engagement scene. It's really a lot of fun for the kids. We finish that up with a dinner cruise on the riverboat. The Terrys are always gracious enough to host that for us. And then on July 3rd, we do the final judging where they again will be observed in the tourist district, portraying Tom and Becky, speaking to tourists, engaging tourists, and then they go through a 15-minute interview as Tom or as Becky. And then on July 4th, we announce the official Tom and Becky.
There you go. And there is one couple, one boy and one girl, that are the official Tom and Becky. However, everybody, all the finalists get to participate.
Yes, we make sure that all 5 couples rotate appearances throughout the year. I am really good about my little planner, and I have little hash marks for my Toms and Beckys, and each one gets an appearance, and I go to the next one, and we rotate them around. They get to work with each other, and they get to do appearances all year long. It's a wonderful program, and we are there every step of the way through the judging process as well. We are there to answer questions. Henry is wonderful. He holds an informational seminar at the museum after they get their study guides, give them opportunity to fill in as much as they can. Then we have a big meeting in the evening, and Henry goes over everything and answers any questions that they couldn't find or anything else that they need to know. And we are there with former Toms, former Beckys, parents. There are so many people that are there to help the kids along the way.
Yeah. And it always amazes me looking down through the list of all of the Toms and Beckys over the years. I mean, it's, names pop up that you recognize that have gone on to become people that are prominent in the community.
Yes, there are. We have had a Tom that walked barefoot in the White House. It's currently a doctor in town. I won't mention his name, but so there are a lot of Toms and Beckys who have done a lot of wonderful things, seen a lot of things. They have opportunities to travel and to meet people from all over the world.
And Henry, I know you never shy away from an opportunity to talk about the travels of the Tom and Becky's over the years. They've been literally all over the world.
Yes, when we get down to the official Tom and Becky, they have the first opportunity when events like this come up. But a number of years ago, just before the contest was held on the 4th of July, it was announced that Tom and Becky were going to be going to Japan to help inaugurate a Tom Sawyer theme park there. So they've been that far.
Sure.
Each year, they do have a major trip for the official Tom and Becky. Looks like they'll be going to Hartford for a Tom Sawyer celebration out there this year.
Sure.
They've gone to California for the frog jumping contest there. They've gone a lot of places. And then for the other Toms and Beckys, we try to find activities out of town for them as well. My son and my daughter were not the official ones, but were a Tom and a Becky, and they went to the state fair down in Sedalia and served as grand marshals in one of the parades down there. So there are activities like this all over. And what I think is so wonderful when we get down to those 5 boys and 5 girls that are the finalists, they mature so much during that year, because thinking of getting out at their age and being able to perform in front of groups, to answer questions off the cuff, they learn a tremendous amount. So when you mention, if you look through that list of former Toms and Beckys, the number of them that have had significant roles in local history, I think there's a cause and effect.
Yeah. So you mentioned you've had kids that have been involved in it. Of course, Melissa, you've had 2 daughters.
2 daughters, yes. I am 2 back-to-back daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one that was one of the 5 Beckys, and as Henry said, she had the opportunity to go out of town and do some events as well, and a lot of parades all over the place, and she had a lot of fun. And then they always go to the state capitol as well, and they get introduced on the state floor. And then the next year I had Paige, who was the official Becky her year, and she was one of the lucky ones who on 4th of July had the announcement, did not know it until they announced that they were going to Bermuda that year. Addison had the opportunity to go to Bermuda for a week. So, of course, Mom tagged along on that trip.
Of course. Absolutely. And the time is getting away from us. I know one thing you wanted to talk about, we're with the tourist season, it'll be here before we know it, and you folks are looking for volunteers.
Yes, we are. At the museum, we have a number of positions that volunteers help us with. At our admissions area, just talking with the visitors as they come in, helping get them oriented, and collecting the admissions is one area. Our museum stores, we also use volunteers to help out in those areas. But then we have other activities coming up through the year that we can use volunteers for, whether it be helping us stuff mailings at the museum. In the collections area, I use people that help us catalog items into our computerized program to keep track of everything that we have at the museum. And then this summer, we're going to be hosting the Clemens Conference at the end of July, and we're going to need volunteers to help us on the campus of Hannibal LaGrange University with everything from just directions for the attendees to help get them around, to registration, to other areas that they'll be of help to us there. So we've got a lot of opportunities for volunteers at the museum, and we each year hold a brunch at the museum for potential volunteers where we go over all these types of activities. And I'll let Melissa talk about that.
That's me, the little event planner.
That's right.
I'm having the top of the morning volunteer welcome brunch on St. Patrick's Day morning. So if anyone out there is interested in volunteering, and as Henry said, we had so many opportunities in so many different areas at the museum, from things that might come up once or twice a year to a weekly 4-hour shift gift at admissions desk or the gift shop. So there's so many opportunities, and we hold a welcome brunch for anyone interested at the museum gallery. So if anyone's interested, just call me at the museum at 221-9010, extension 404, and I can send you an invitation to that.
Very good. So that is coming up. And of course, very quickly, the next first big events in the spring, the chocolate extravaganza and the great girlfriend getaway.
Well, for anyone who likes chocolate, and I think that's the majority of our listeners,
Definitely.
on Saturday, March 14th, we're having the 5th annual chocolate extravaganza. And for that, more than 20 of these stores in the downtown area are participating. And through those stores, you can purchase a booklet that has coupons in it. And you'll have 5 of these coupons that can be redeemed at different businesses through the downtown area. And just to give you an idea of a couple of the things that you could redeem the coupons for, at 2 of the businesses, there'll be mugs filled with chocolate that you could take home. You can get a chocolate milkshake or chocolate cream soda at another store. The
Chocolate coma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spring thaw popcorn.
At least that's the goal anyway.
Yes.
Spring thaw popcorn, which is chocolate caramel popcorn with white icing, down to bracelets, to other pieces of jewelry. So a lot of things are available, and you can stop at almost any of the businesses along Main Street or at the Mark Twain Cave to pick up these booklets, and they inside have the whole list of the stores that are participating and what you can get for those coupons.
It occurs to me it's like 3 weeks from Saturday, something like that. Not very long at all.
No, it's coming right up.
Well, I actually was getting very close. It's 2 weeks from Saturday.
Well, March the 14th.
14th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's right. That's right. That is.
So
It is
everybody come
only
on
2
down.
weeks.
There's
Oh, my
chocolate to be
goodness.
had.
Those booklets are available. They cost $20, and they can be purchased again at almost any of the downtown stores, and they are in the stores right now.
Time is we're so much past time. So if the folks want more information about any of the goings on with the Boyhood Home and Museum, how can they get that?
Just contact us at the museum at 573-221-9010, extension 404, or go to www.marktwainmuseum.org.
A lot of ways to find out what's going on with the Mark Twain Boyhood Home and Museum. Henry Sweets, Melissa Cummins, we all appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.